So this is a new experience, recording an intro to my podcast in a coffee shop because I have nowhere else to go, nothing silent to find, and trying not to make a complete freak show out of myself in front of all these people who are staring at me and wondering why I'm talking into a wall. But anyway, welcome back to the podcast. Glad you guys are here. This week's guest is a unique get for me. I wanted to try something really, really different. And it occurred to me a couple weeks ago that, everybody's unique. And when I say that, I mean everybody's truly unique. Everybody has, obviously, their own fingerprints, their own style, their own MO. But they all have an intangible, right? You can meet 12 real estate agents, and they're all going to have something unique to offer. And it made me think, what if I just interviewed, quote unquote, a normal person, right? Somebody that didn't necessarily have any fame, local or national, didn't necessarily feel like they had anything to offer, and yet knowing that full well everybody has a story. And I believe everybody matters and everybody's story matters because everybody has something profound. Everybody has a skeleton or two or 1,000 in the closet. Everybody's survived something significant. That's why they're still here, and it's what's made them better. And so when it came down to it, I thought, I'm going to call up my friend Sarah. I love Sarah Woodbridge. And she has a really great story to share with everybody today. She's a really different chick, and I just dig her to death. So I'm going to let the story unfold on its own. I'm not going to give you any updates, any insight ahead of the time. I just want you to listen to her story, listen to her reality, and hopefully you'll find something really lovely and valuable in there. So thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys being here. Continue to subscribe and support. Please share this with everybody you know, because without you, we do not have organic growth. And be on the lookout for a second podcast to be released by yours truly and a unique and wonderfully weird special guest. So with that, rock and roll.
Okay.
Yay, me.
Right.
Right. Is that a little Cockney thing, right?
No, it's just weird having... Anyway.
Do you want to take this one?
No, this is good.
No, because this way you don't have to hold anything.
It's not about holding it. It's just about it. I've just never had to. It's like being a singer.
Yeah, you've never held a microphone, correct? You've never
correct.
held a microphone.
No.
Never a reason.
Never what?
Never a reason.
Never a reason to hold a microphone. No, my voice is loud enough. You say, shout like a sergeant major.
And it's British.
And it is British, yeah.
There's no T in this.
It is British.
We can just play Cockney all night. That would make me happier.
I think, they for real Cockney was listening to this, they'd be like, shut up.
Yeah. I love, it's such a dumb American thing to fall in love with an accent that isn't ours, right? Is that the way it is everywhere? Because I've been all over the world, but I've never seen that. Like, we have this weird, crazy, over-the-top fascination with, do it again.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. In England, of course, my accent isn't particularly brilliant. And then, of course, you come here and everyone likes your accent. You're like,
right.
Excellent.
Well, and it's not a posh accent.
I will use you. No, it is not.
There's who is it? Oh, Kate Beckinsale has an extraordinarily posh accent.
Oh, does she?
She talks like this, and she's very, very kind, and she speaks. I just
Was that a bit loud?
no, that was good. Don't worry, I have compression. We'll shut it down. So
dear.
so do I get to call you by your maiden name? Do I get to do like a Naked Gun joke and say sometimes we go by our maiden name?
Sometimes I do, but yeah, with like for the moment it's still Salter, I guess, with the kids and what have you. But yeah,
but
it will change.
But Sarah Woodbridge for the duration of this podcast.
Okay,
Sarah Woodbridge.
Sarah Woodbridge.
Now, is Woodbridge? It sounds so British. The name
Does
Woodbridge.
It? Yeah, there is a place called Woodbridge.
Yeah.
In England.
All right.
There's a place called Woodbridge over here, and all.
Yeah. So let's start with this.
All right then.
So what's the heritage of Woodbridge?
I don't
Do
know.
you know?
No idea. My dad's called Gary Woodbridge, and that's it. That's all I know, really.
Really?
Yeah. Never really looked into that.
I would think that, I don't know, my assumption as an American is that Brits would have, like every family would have a coat of arms and have a story about their name. Like Jones is this, is John, the son of John, and it's Welsh and all that stuff. So I that's not the case with you, eh?
I don't think that's the case with a lot of people I know, actually. But no, not in my case. No, I haven't got a clue.
So this is interesting, Sarah, because I know you've never had a microphone shoved in your face before.
No.
And
I quite like it shoved in my face before, but not actually a microphone.
It's not quite as intimate.
No, it isn't. No.
But we've become friends over the last 18 months.
We have, yeah, definitely.
And you're an extraordinary person.
You said that before, yeah. Blew me away, yeah.
And you don't understand why, right? Do you understand why?
No, I'm just who I am. I'm just Sarah.
Yeah.
Just Sarah.
So the podcast listeners, they're going to wonder why Sarah Woodbridge. And I would tell you, Sarah and I had a conversation the other day, and we're kind of joking about the fact that everyone in the world has a story, and everyone has something to offer, really. When you get down to it, everybody has an intangible that makes them unique, right?
I would guess, yeah.
And so why Sarah Woodbridge? And my brain was thinking, nobody really knows who Sarah Woodbridge is because she's not, quote unquote, famous, right? She hasn't changed the world.
Nope.
She hasn't written a hit record.
No.
She's not starred in any movies that I know of.
No, definitely not.
And yet you're so amazingly fascinating to me because you are bold and not brash, but you are just so real and human all the time, and you're laughing at the fact that I'm complimenting you, which I find...
No, it's when you said not brash, but I am actually quite brash sometimes, I think.
Yeah, well, okay, so you put on a good public face.
Yeah, I do.
Is that fair?
Yeah, I like people.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. It's not like I don't put it on. I do like people a lot.
And you know what I love about this is the best part. So now I get to go back to the accent.
Okay.
That accent right now is you.
Right.
That's not a put on.
No, it isn't.
And it's so badass.
Yeah, this is it. This whole badass thing and this, because I used to be called Wellard and scary.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Funny that, yeah. So must be the accent then and nothing else. That's good.
That's so great. So I really want to treat this like just a really basic entry level, almost like it's a job interview, right? Let's just go back to the beginning and discover Sarah.
All right then.
Is that cool?
Yeah, if you like.
I mean, you've got to have stories.
Yeah.
Some brilliant, some disgusting.
Might not tell those.
Yeah, I'm going to get it out of you.
Well, the only problem is my children might hear this.
Well, just tell them they can't listen to it.
Don't listen to this until you're 21.
Well, I'll tell you this. So to give you comfort, okay? So this is the 16th, 17th podcast, right? That I've done. And in the last maybe 5 or 6, I've started to reveal some Rob Jones secrets, sort of.
Right.
Sort of, right? And the thing is it doesn't really bother me to say them. I do sort of bring caution, realizing that my wife has to deal with maybe the aftermath of hearing something new or her friends hearing something that they've never heard. Like, oh my God. As I said this on the last podcast, the last thing I want my wife to have to deal with is somebody say, I heard your husband's podcast and it's kind of disturbing. He's talking about stuff I don't think he should be talking about. But I would say this, Sarah, that my hope and the podcast is really based around the idea of of meeting incredible, interesting people that others out there don't know. I mean, my podcast isn't populated with tons of famous people. It's populated with quote unquote normal individuals who happen to do really unique, different things, or they've been through an experience that others can relate to.
Right. Yeah.
And so when we had our friendly discussions over the last year and a half, it's pretty much told me that you have some, not, I don't want to say darkness, but you have stories in there that are pretty significant.
Yeah, and that's why I don't keep it a secret, and that's why because it might help somebody, you never know.
Yeah. And so what I'd really like to just do today, if it's cool with you, and you can share anything, you can say anything you want. You can even tell me later, Rob, take it out, and I'll do that. But
right.
But I hope you won't. is tell me. Let's go back to kind of like childhood. What was it like growing up on, in the British Isles, and what's it like?
Yeah,
I just don't know.
I presume my parents won't ever hear this, so that's all right. No, I grew up in a kind of angry family, shall we say? Not very pleasant. Saw a lot of things that weren't very nice, and certainly something I wouldn't have ever wanted my children to see or go through, or what have you. I never really ever took it with me, and I never seemed to ever really be bothered by it. I never seemed to be affected by it. It's something I dealt with at the time, and this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that was literally, you grow up tough. And the area I grew up around, I mean, it was, there's not a lot of money. You don't have the best of anything, and so you just get on with it. It's just get up, get on with it, and just go with it. So I never really thought anything of it until you start talking to other people, and sometimes it's that they've been affected in a really big way. It's like, oh, should I have been affected by this? Well, I'm not. Well, maybe I was, and I just didn't realise.
Right.
Until a lot later on.
So, okay, so what town did you grow up? Was like Manchester or something like that? I mean, when you say difficult, my brain automatically goes to a factory town. Is that the case?
Oh, I see what you mean. No, I grew up in my first 7 years was in Maidenhead, and then it was Loudwater, which is near a place called High Wycombe, which a lot of people will know.
Okay.
So yeah, that's pretty much where I grew up. Now, I don't mean it hard like that, just what the dynamics of my family.
Right.
My very specific mum, dad, sister, me, that was difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
And was it difficult because, I mean, you said it was loud and maybe violent.
Mm-hmm.
So was that brought on by like family, like alcoholism?
Yeah, alcohol. Yeah, it was brought on by alcohol, but not alcoholism. It was just when it was alcohol, that's when things would flare up bad. Mm-hmm. But later on in life, that alcohol went away. Well, it didn't go away, still drink, but not excessively.
Right. Not at the level that he was when you were younger.
No, definitely not.
And what about your mother? Was she much of a drinker or user of any kind?
No.
Just
nothing.
Really passive?
No.
All right. So she was a fighter.
Brilliant. No, definitely not passive. She's an amazing woman, my mum. Because she's really strong, and with the shit she had to put up with.
Yeah.
And to come out of it like she has, and bring up 2 kids, and just she's a pretty amazing woman.
Wow.
I think.
Now, is your father still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. He's nearly 70, and he's actually just been diagnosed with a tumour, but he's all right. But yeah, he's still alive, and he's a nice man. People change, they do. And
okay. Well, so you weren't being sarcastic. He really has turned into a decent fellow.
No, he's a lovely man, and he always was. It's just that alcohol would, like it does. He's
a bad drunk.
Yeah, don't do it sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
did he go through a plan, like a 12-step
No,
program?
it was nothing like that. It wasn't like big issue. He didn't drink 24/7. He didn't drink all the time. He just, drank on a Friday night with his mates down the pub.
Okay.
It was that kind of thing. It wasn't
Cultural thing.
Yeah, definitely a cultural thing.
But he brought it home and it was all hell.
If he brought it home, it could be. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So was this like a weekly thing? I mean,
no.
Is this pretty much like this is...
No, it wasn't a weekly thing. I mean, when it happened and you knew about it. And my sister would sort of, come in and I'd tuck her into bed and go downstairs and, do whatever, try and sort it out, which you couldn't do, but,
So you were forced to grow up quite quickly.
Well, yeah.
Because you had to deal with that as almost like a spouse, like trying to talk him down or trying to protect your family, right?
Yeah, I had to do quite a bit, was talk him down. But, he did. He would be talked down and, sometimes...
Wow.
Yeah, but I never saw it as growing up quickly. I never saw it like that.
Yeah.
It was just, that's what it was. I thought, probably everybody goes through this sort of thing, so it's fine,
Yeah.
Get on with it, and you do this, I do that, and...
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, this opens up a giant can of worms because...
Yes, it does.
Because I have, I have so many questions, but... Oh my gosh! So would you consider yourself a model child, a model student? Were you the good kid that went to school and you came home with good grades and you kept your room clean, or were you the kid? But were you the kid that got taken out on because you were a bit of a brat?
No, I don't think I was it. I certainly wasn't a model student. I was so bloody bored with school. It got right up my nose. I just couldn't be bothered with it. It was just so boring. I didn't like it at all. And the thing is, I was always told I was stupid. It's only recently I've been diagnosed with ADD. I'm nearly 46 years old, and I've just been diagnosed with it. Well, not so long ago, and it's because you fly under the radar with ADD, not ADHD, where you get those kids. Oh God, I've got to calm down.
You mean like my kids?
No, actually, I don't. That's nothing like ADD. No, but. Yeah, and so you're told the whole time, you're stupid. So in the end, you just give up and go, sod it, I really can't be bothered. Now I'm going to go and get a job. So at the age of 12, I got a job.
Whoa.
I was still at school,
okay.
But I did get, I started.
And still at home.
And still at home. Oh, yeah. So I started working, because I could make money. Which to me, in my head, would give me that freedom when I needed it.
Right.
When I wanted to, do what I needed to do. And then I set up my own business when I was 14. Washing cars on this estate in England, and then got all the other kids to work for me, so I didn't have to actually do the work, but I did get half the money. So I managed to make quite a bit of money that way.
Yeah,
which was good. Yeah, so I've worked ever since I was 12. Yeah.
So did you work because you had you said you were kind of almost like saving up or had a goal to get away, to get out. What does that mean? What does getting out mean?
For me, it's just to be able to do something other than what I was doing. I never ever knew what it was I wanted to do, and I still don't. And I don't know if I ever will. Right? I always know what I don't want, and I always know what I don't like, and I know what I don't agree with. So for me, it was just to make sure I had something. And I know, like my mum, she was very good at saving money and keeping the house good and what have you. But so this earning money, to start with, it was, I turned 12 and my mum says to me, if you want anything from now on, you have to get it yourself. I'm like, oh, all right then. So that means going to get a job. So
wow,
that's what you do.
Did she do this as a response to you having the motivation to go make money? Or did she say, you need to start doing it on your own, and that's why you went to work?
Oh, that's why I started it to begin with at 12, because 12's like Poppy's age, and I wouldn't send her out to work.
Right. Is that normal in Britain?
No.
That was just normal in your family.
Yeah, it's normal in our family, and that's and again, it's you grow up thinking this is normal,
right?
And so you
don't have any other point of reference.
No, so there's it's no big deal. So that was in a little tiny corner shop. And then I went on to a bakery, and then I started my own business, and then started full-time work at 16. I did, get my grades for, I did pass and get out of school, but I didn't want to go to college or anything like that, but I did end up going to college.
Really? So you didn't want to go, but you went anyway?
I went eventually because I found something I liked, which was floristry. I fell into that because I worked in a garden centre.
Oh.
And my grandparents have always been into, or had a nursery, and so I've always been into plants, and then I fell into floristry.
So you have the green thumb. Do you still have it?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
So you went into floristry.
Yep.
Then what happened?
Well, I go to college for 3 years, do a number of other things, but yeah, go to college for 3 years and have a bloody marvellous time.
Yeah.
And then
the college experience.
you know, like you do, like everybody does. And then I get out of college. I'm not out of college that long, a couple of years. And I got a fairly good job. But it's a job, and that's all it really is. And then I get full pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it. Hardly as expected, and so I give up work.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. So okay. Wow. You've really thrown me for a loop here. This is stuff, of course, I didn't know. So.
Well, no, I don't tell. And as people ask me outright, I keep my mouth shut. I listen.
Why do you keep your mouth shut when it comes to that?
Do you know everything? It's like I'll know loads of stuff about you, and then someone's like, "Oh, I wonder what Sarah blah blah." And you go, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not unless you do something like this. Because I just don't tell people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it bother you that people don't want to know more about you?
No, it doesn't at all. I just think people like to talk and they need to talk. So I'll listen to you. That's great. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I never really thought about it.
Yeah. I think most people talk to talk. Actually, they don't talk to listen to your story. They talk because they can't wait for you to hear them talk.
So probably.
Right. Yeah. It's an ego thing.
Yeah, which is a bit of a shame.
Or it was never built into you to have this sort of social construct that says, look, you gotta stop talking sometimes,
Shut
dude.
the fuck up and just listen, you muppets.
You mutt.
You bleeding muppet. God.
Wait a minute, is that from like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
What, you bleeding muppet? I don't think so.
Guy Ritchie, take note.
Yeah.
Sarah's ready for her job. Oh my God.
Oh God.
That's great. So school, floristry. Yeah. I mean, so where does your life take the next step, whether it's down a different road that you have yet to share with me, or getting married and having children? What prompted you to go in the next direction? What was it that changed your life? Because
Harley changed my life, and so I went back into education properly because I still thinking I'm stupid. You see. I can't have her growing up with a stupid mother because I'm going to be an at-home mother. So I don't want to be stupid because so that's what I do. I go back to it was university.
And Harley's your oldest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I start that and I do a couple of years of that, which was the arts. Then I did a couple of years of... I did business, I did math, I did English, I did the arts, I did writing, so I actually got altogether quite a lot of qualifications, but they don't make a complete degree.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I get bored very quickly, which will be the ADD and not being able to focus and all that. I always wondered what that was, not being able to focus. Oh, that's what it is then. Yeah, so she was the one that really changed my life because I really, just the two of us. And yeah, she's a really bright, lovely, young woman. But I suppose from there, it was the biggest thing was then moving to America. My ex-partner gets a job over here. And so we just, so let's do it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And we just pack up everything and go. And don't really think too much about it.
How long ago was that?
10 years on October 27th.
So, wow. So accents clearly don't get swallowed up by,
Well, mine hasn't, obviously.
No, this is very brutal and strong. Yeah. So you came to the States. Did you end up here in Washington, or did you go to somewhere else first? Where were you?
Straight away Issaquah and then North Bend. We found a house in North Bend and that was it. Loved the place and that was it.
So you've been out here for
10 years.
A long time. Wow. So then what happened? Because you know what I'm doing.
Oh,
right?
I do. I know exactly what you're doing
because
I just don't know how you want this interview to go. So it's just like I'm just following your lead, mate. I'll blurt it out at any minute. You know.
I know. Well, I'm terrible at segueing, but I want to get to the meat.
Let's get to the point then.
Yeah,
right, this is how it happened.
Yeah.
After a couple of years, where we actually lived, I just never. It just wasn't my kind of place. Lovely people, really lovely people, but just not me. And then I started to suffer from migraines. So I will cut this a bit short because it doesn't half go on.
That's fine.
But so I go, I can't get rid of this bloody headache. And a girlfriend of mine at the time, she takes me to the hospital and this woman pumps this stuff into me and I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. Thanks ever so much. The migraine's gone. And then she told me what it was and I'm like, what's that then?
Yeah,
it was Dilaudid. And I'm like, oh, what is that? So is it a painkiller and all this? And I went and does this. And I didn't even know these bloody things existed. So I'm like, right, I liked that a little bit too much. So the migraine wouldn't go away. It kept coming back. And it bloody stayed for days. And I tried to fight it because I knew I liked that stuff.
Yeah.
But after the fourth day, I think it was like, I can't do this anymore. I was no life. I'm lying down. I'm sick all the time. And so, I go back and it happens again. And then they give me some pills. These do the same thing. Oh, this is, thank you very much. Lovely. Great. This is not as strong. I don't get that wham. I'm good. I'm good. I can do this. And I really didn't think anything of it. But I had constant migraines. And I was just told, take them. If the pain gets to a certain level, between 1 and 10, take it. And so you learn how to do that. Okay, right, this. Make sure it's definitely at 6 before you take it. And, you muck about with them. Make sure you got a diary and all this. And then all of a sudden it just gets out of hand. And you don't... Because I've always had a very good reception when I've told people I'm a recovering addict. Everyone's been bloody marvellous. They really have. But I do know there's a lot of people out there that really do not like the idea. But I swear, having been there like I have, there is nobody in this world that wakes up one morning and goes, do you know what? I think I'll become a drug addict. That'd be fucking marvellous. Let's do it.
Right.
So, then I fell in the shower and I broke my back. So, and it wasn't a bad break, thank goodness, because at the time I was physically very strong through a lot of work I was doing. And so it was only like a minor break. But of course, then they look at the back and everything's bloody wrong with it. And they start piling me again full of these tablets. Well, by then, I knew I was addicted. And I'm like, thank you very much. Lovely. Great. Broke my back. Fantastic. Means I can have tablets. I knew, but I just couldn't get out of it. Didn't matter how hard I tried. I just couldn't budge.
I've listened to a lot of Dr. Drew. I don't know if you know who Dr. Drew is.
No.
But in America, he's a well-known, I hate to use the term television physician, but he's sort of made his bones on TV in addiction clinics and addiction programs.
All right.
He was part of Loveline, so he deals with everything from sex to drug addiction.
Oh, okay.
Abuse, etc.
Oh.
And I'm just remembering the things he said is that, basically talking about the fact that your drug addiction, although in a sense, I would never call it your fault. Your body's automatically, it has receptors built in that says, I like this. That's just, how we're all built. We would all love Dilaudid. We would all love it. But it really is malpractice for doctors to just say, here you go, and to give you a crap load, because it's easier to hand it to you and let you deal with the consequences than it is to actually teach you how to manage your pain and to find another solution.
Yeah. I don't think it's quite so bad now. I think it's quite a lot of work has been put into this because so many people are dying because of medication.
Yeah.
I don't really want to blame anybody apart from this is because I own this completely. And
I can see why you own it because it did get to a place that was clearly out of control from everything
Totally.
you're sharing. But you would have never even gone down that road had you not been lambasted with a brutal drug from day one.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They didn't say here's 5 milligrams or whatever it is of Vicodin. They went straight to frickin' Dilaudid.
Yeah, straight to Dilaudid, and
That's
then
like heroin.
Yeah, I know it is, and then it was a legal form of heroin, like but what it was they gave me that I really became addicted to was the oxycodone. That's why I liked. There was something about that.
It's the buzz.
I
It's a warm
really
buzz.
liked.
Yeah, and it's a long lasting 4 or 5 hour buzz.
Well, there's that, and of course it makes you feel so much better, and you think your life's really shit because you got no friends. All your friends are in bloody England, and you make up all that bullshit as you go along.
Yeah.
You know, I feel sorry for myself because that's where you are. It's drug addiction. It almost kind of. Well, I don't know. I don't want to over exaggerate anything, but it kind of rips your soul out, and you live in this dark, dark place. Oh God, you can't get out of it. It doesn't matter how hard you try, and there's all this shame that's attached to it.
Yeah,
big shame. And it was only when I was marched off to jail that things changed. And I'm like, kind of thank God for that kind of thing, because now it's out in the open, and I can start to deal with it, and the family start to deal with it, and
yeah, So first of all, you got to punch it in. Come on, give me the big knuckles, because it's hard. Okay, and I love you.
I know.
And I'm proud of you, because I know this is hard. No matter if you're willing to be vocal about it, it's hard, because there's always going to be this sort of weird embarrassment. You can say you own it, but you do worry, because I do. I worry about how people judge me based on me talking about sex addiction struggles that I've had. Okay, so I can imagine why you would feel the way you feel. Why were you jailed?
Yeah, that I really don't want to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, that only because if my children are listening to this, that's
fair.
not okay.
Okay. But they're aware that happened?
Oh God, yeah, they're totally aware that happened.
Okay.
So yeah, it was and that really is, again, is a big messy story.
Sure.
And I was in and out within 24 hours. It was a kind of a mistake, kind of not. It really is just one big mess. Maybe another podcast for another time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reality is, a listener who might be currently in the situation you were in doesn't care about the jail story.
No.
It's a curiosity, admittedly, on my part, and so I'm sorry if that offended you.
No, it doesn't offend me. I just worry that if there's,
So jail, thank God, right? In
pretty
a way,
much,
thank God.
actually, yeah, it was, because at the time I had a pain patch on. Well, you couldn't even have that on in jail, because you had to take out nothing. You couldn't have anything. So that was good. It gave me 24 hours to think. I couldn't contact anybody because of the actual charge. Everything was dropped.
Yeah.
Because it was all a bit of a
hubbub.
Cock up. Yeah. Hasten to say, I have a little bit of an issue with some police officers, but there we go. We won't go into that one. Yeah, because the police are very different over here than they are in England. Blimey.
Yeah.
God,
they carry weapons here.
Well, and not only that, they're like, sorry, I've got all the, yeah. So
you're insinuating they're apes. Or at least your experience was.
Yeah, pretty much the copper that took me down, and he took me down, and I was half naked. I was just strappy top and pajamas. That was it. That's all I had on. And I kept saying to him, I need you to back off. You're frightening me. And he got up in my face, and I went to walk past him, and he whack.
Wow.
And my face was all up and not broken, but broken skin and all that. And God, yeah, it looked like I'd been 12 rounds with Mike Tyson. And even when the main copper came along, the female copper, who was like sheriff or whatever she was, but one of the top ones, and she's like looking, so there's nothing wrong with you. And I'm like, I can feel it.
Yeah.
But anyway, in the end, I just let the whole thing go and just lay back in the back of the car and went, just take me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the drugs wore off and you're in jail, does the migraine come back? How does that work?
Well, it was more. See, I'd been taking them for No, it didn't come back because I've been taking them for my back at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this had been quite a time.
Oh, this has been a very extended time, like 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
Oh God.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I figured this might have been a couple of months. So
No, this was like a 4-year duration that my family went through as well.
you're lucky to be alive, Sarah.
So, well, yeah, actually.
Yeah. That kills a lot of people.
That kills a lot of people. And I was talking to another friend of mine in the coffee shop, and he said it's why he stopped being a pharmacist, because he saw so many good people die of taking this drug. So yeah. Anyway, that wears off, and I eventually go back home. I can't go back home straight away. And it was a while before I went back, a week or so. But then it's all the mending and it's all the everything else. But then, of course, I go and have my back operation. So I'm still taking the drugs because I've just had pins and God knows what put in my body. But my ex-partner is looking after the drugs for me. So everything is in a safe by now when I can't get in the office. And, everything's well and truly controlled. And things start to improve.
Wow.
Slightly.
How long was the process, the decompression from drug addiction? I mean, how did you do it? How did you get off of it?
Well, once I'd had the second operation, because the first one was a balls up, but once I'd had the second one and the pain had gone away, I just came off and went through 3 weeks of withdrawals. Not funny.
Yeah.
But I'd chosen to do it. I had like loads of chocolate, and I was like tucked away, if you like, just to make sure I was always in a safe place.
Yeah.
Because I didn't come off them gradually. I came because I was in no pain, so I just came off them, which was okay to do, but. For me personally, I don't actually advise it for a lot of people because it can give you a heart attack. But it can have a real bad effect. But no, I did decide that I'm not in any pain now. Enough's enough, and come off them, which was February of last year. Okay. I think because then I got the job with the coffee shop in April.
So you've been clean for 18 months, basically.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And when you say pretty much, do you...
No, I've been completely clean for just over a year. Mm-hmm. There were 2 other episodes where I did take one tablet, I can't remember what it was now, and another one where I took a different tablet. And okay, it may have only been one tablet, but it's still, I'm taking it when I don't need it.
Right.
So I did class that as a relapse.
Was that, see, when I have a really long day, and this is terrible that I do this, but when I have a really long day, I love to go to the store and buy one of those cheap $1.50 pizzas.
Right.
And like a liter of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
I put the liter in the freezer. I put a ton of pepperoni and a ton of cheese on this. And we're talking like 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
And I feel like complete dog crap after I consume this.
Yeah.
But it's like an addiction for me. That's my
Sure
long
thing.
day payoff. Like, okay, well, I know I'm going to feel like crap, but God dang it, I'm going to go eat that pizza and drink that soda. And I feel like crap. Was that drug thing? Was that one of those, like, you just had a bad day and you just wanted to feel nice for a little bit?
And my situation at the time, and again, don't want to go into a lot of detail.
Understood.
It was the situation. Again, I am not blaming anyone else. I really am not. But, sometimes something will be left out and you're like, no, you weren't supposed to do that. You're supposed to... Anyway, or... I don't know, an opportunity came up. I can't even remember. I just remember it being a very tiny amount. I didn't go on a 4 or 5 week bender or anything. It was just very much a small amount, but I decided to class it as, obviously, as a relapse.
And it was. I mean,
definitely.
It's a singular event, and thank goodness you had it under control, but you didn't need to do it, just like you said.
No, I didn't need to do it. No, I wasn't in any pain.
Just absolutely wanted to do it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. That's a tough one. So how do you keep yourself clean nowadays? What do you do? Is there do you pray? Is there a mantra? Do you eat certain kinds of foods? What do you do?
No, I'm in a recovery situation. Not this. And again, we don't mention it.
Understood.
It's not a sect, like a lot of people think it is. But it's. I've got some amazing friends there. I work in an amazing place.
Yeah, you do.
And that place,
Good people.
Oh, the whole entire place, the customers, the girls I work with, my bosses. You know, it really is an amazing place.
Yeah. Twin Peaks, baby.
So yeah, it's that has definitely made a big difference to my life. Yeah. Huge. That and yes, I do pray. I do believe in God. But that's a first. That's not It's not been a lifelong thing.
Yeah.
That's literally, quite new.
Was that part of the recovery process? Because I always hear about 12. I've never been to 12-step, okay? And I'm not suggesting you're in 12-step because I don't know. But I've always heard that 12-step programs are very, very sort of faith, find your God focus. Is that kind of where it came from?
For me, it something very different happened for me to then believe in a higher power.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was connected to one of my children. So, again, I want to be a bit careful there. It's just drug addiction is so fucking messy. And it, like I say, it rips your soul out and it destroys your family. And it takes years to put it back together, if at all.
Yeah.
If you ever can. It's like, I'm separate from my partner and I don't have my children.
Yeah, but, we're friends. We've been friends for 18 months.
Yep.
And I would encourage you, you're looking at me. I would encourage you to just realize that all will be okay. It just takes time. And the lovely thing, my children, I'll bring myself into this mix a little because I want to kind of share a tiny, tiny story. And that is, I don't want to call myself an absentee father, but I was absent mentally.
Right.
Or I was always here.
Yep.
But I have 6 children, and my 3 older children really didn't get the dad that my 3 younger children have because I am present. Right? I wasn't a present father. Too focused on my own career, focused on not wanting to be around my ex-wife, all those things, just the distaste of it, not enjoying being a dad, feeling like it was a burden. And so even though I loved them tremendously at the time, of course, I'm crazy about them now, but I went through a phase where I certainly didn't appreciate them. And then when I lost them, with custody issues and divorce and all that other stuff, that when they finally came back into my life, they had damage, but they recovered from that because us amazing humans are incredibly resilient.
Definitely are.
And your children are, as you are. And I think they have a really great role model to look up to because the thing is you went through all the stuff you went through, but you survived it. And you survived it with grace.
Okay.
No, you did.
I don't really know what to say about that, but yeah.
You did. You did. And I know because I know who you are. I recognize the intangible inside of you, Sarah. Whether you see it or not, I can't help, right? Everybody, we tend to heap a lot on ourselves, right? And say, I'm not talented, I'm not handsome, I'm not pretty, I'm not whatever, I'm not sexy, whatever we think we are, right? Our failings. But the fact is others rarely see us like we think we are.
Quite, yeah.
Right? They see us pretty extraordinary people, interesting individuals. Oh, you bring a smile into the room, you bring the happiness, joy, whatever you bring, right? The thing that I found about you as I've gotten to know you is that not knowing your history, not knowing where you grew up, not knowing about your first child and that and the work schedule and then the drug history, right? I knew about bits and pieces, right? Just the fringe. But hearing it and then going, okay, the intangible that I sort of befriended at that coffee shop tells me you're sturdy, worthwhile, valuable, funny, kind, interesting, all these things. And I'm telling you this because it's the truth. I'm not telling you this for good radio. I'm telling you this because it's the truth. Now, whether you choose to believe it, I can't help you with.
No.
But I would tell you that your children as difficult as this period is, they know their mother is pretty damn awesome. And no matter what they may hear outside of your home or what you think they may think, I guarantee you they don't. They just want to be around their mom.
They seem to want to be, yeah.
Yeah. And so what now? How do you've obviously found recovery.
Yes,
and you
indeed.
found health, and you found happiness in what you do.
Definitely.
And you want to, it sounds to me, based on our conversations, that you would love to own your own place someday, that you would be a great, owner barista, not just a barista, but a...
Yeah, that would. Yeah, I love the job so much. I have to say, I'm really stunned at the fact. I walk into this job and I was surprised that I even got the job. But that was, I think, because there was they needed quite a lot of people. Because I'm 45 years old, and to be a barista at my age, it's a bit extreme. I don't see many women my age as a barista, but yeah, it truly is the best job, the most fun. Can be the most stressful, but the most fun job I have ever had. And like I say, the people I've met, and friends, I've actually made real friends.
Yeah.
That when the going got tough and really tough at some points, and I don't mean anything related to drugs whatsoever. This is all after this happened, when it got really tough. People were there, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
To look out for you,
yeah.
which blew me away, because I didn't think I'd find that over here in America.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you think you'd find something like that?
Well, because I'd gone, when I first came over here, I did, because I had a load of friends in England. So I'm like, no problem, I'll have loads of friends in America.
Right.
No, that's not how it happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I actually got into the coffee shop and found some real people, that didn't put on airs and graces, didn't fake stuff, and didn't pretend to be something they weren't, or didn't do the whole,
Right.
It was just completely different.
Right. So that first 8.5 years was just a bunch of crap.
Yeah, the first two were exciting because everything was new,
Yeah.
and we had, lots to do and, lots to see and
Giant
all that.
country, yeah.
Yeah, and a giant house. Bloody hell, never would have had one of these in England, not ever.
Yeah.
So to have a house that had a utility room was like, wow, bloody marvellous. Look, separate room for the washing machine. What? Whereas that utility room was the same size as, one of my daughter's bedrooms.
Right, it's a flat.
Right.
Yeah.
So the first 2 years, no, they were great. And like I said, the people on the estate we lived in, they're really lovely people. But after that, it just got lonely as well, very lonely. And nobody's put on this earth to be lonely, I don't think.
Yeah. Do you
Not
think?
really.
But but we didn't talk about the lonely, so I want to hit that.
Right.
So why do you think you were lonely? Were you heaping were you pulling away? Were you butting heads with people you were meeting? Where was that darkness coming from?
No, I just don't. I tried my hardest. I'd made, friends with a girl over the road, really good friends. I'd got all the women on the estate, they all at a book club. All right, then I'll set up a book club. Anything goes wrong, we'll end on Sarah's doorstep. I had a load of people in my life.
Yeah.
I suppose, but I'd had 36 years in England of different people without money, and people that were just regular kinds of people that had to struggle hard and work hard to get where they were. Didn't have, degrees in this and degrees in that, and didn't live in big fancy houses.
Yeah.
It was just so different.
Right. So you just kind of disassociated all of a sudden because you had this really wild, weird, different life that you didn't grow up in.
They disassociated from me as well.
Yeah.
Not quite what we thought. She's got the nice English accent. Maybe that's as far as it goes, as far as we want to know.
Interesting.
I think I could be completely wrong, and maybe I imagined all of it, and that's where the darkness came from. I don't know.
Interesting. Do you still feel? I mean, you're clean. Mm-hmm. And you seem happy, and you work this great job.
Yep.
Do you feel like you have hope? Do you
Totally.
feel like there's a future for Sarah?
Totally, and in America as well.
Yeah. And you want it all to be here, right? You're not interested in jumping back across the pond.
No. I've done that now. I've done it one way. I don't want to be doing it again. It's too much of a a big thing. So I'm good here, thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, and I like it here now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you think you're healed? And when I say that, I mean, nobody's ever 100%, but I mean, do you feel good? Do you feel healthy? Do you feel hopeful?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll always be a drug addict. I mean, that'll never change. Hopefully always a
right.
recovering one, but that'll never change.
Right, but you don't identify.
No, so anything else, but yeah, a lot of hope. Yeah, definitely, and a lot of fun and a lot of good people in my life. And people are what make it, good people are what make it, I think.
Nice.
That's a thing for me anyway.
Nice. Before we end here, I
know she keeps dropping her bloody knitting needles.
People are going to wonder, what is that sound?
What are you doing?
And it's because we have a friend. Say hello.
It only happened twice.
She's sitting in the corner knitting. She's 25. She needs a fella. Don't you? You need a fella. Blimey.
No, the last thing she needs is a fella.
A fella?
We just want to keep
as
her
a bloke.
safe.
A man.
Hello, America. We got two ladies here, very eligible. Two ladies.
Very single.
Very single, two lovely ladies. There's a little cougar thing going on here.
Yeah, I'm the cougar, by the way. Yeah.
Oh my.
No,
gosh.
I really am not.
That's great. That's great. Well, so if there's anything, so a couple things to take away from this.
All right.
Where does Sarah go from here?
God,
Do you have a dream? Like, this is what I want to do. Like, if I could do anything, what would I do? What would you do?
It would. Like I told you earlier in the day, I do write.
Yeah.
And I do. I've written all my life. Well, I'll say all my life since I was 12, actually. I suppose, to completely complete a book. I've just never been big on the whole. Oh yeah, it must be published. I don't know.
You can self-publish on Amazon.
Yeah, I know you
It's,
can.
like, free.
I know you can do that. And maybe that's what I want. Again, like I'm never really very good at. This is just the coffee shop is fantastic, and I love it. So I don't know where it's going to go. Whether I go off and do something completely different, or there's just so much out there, and so many different things.
Yeah.
I just don't know where I'll end up because I don't say, oh, I want this or I want that, and.
What if you did, Sarah? What if you said, this is what I want? And I'm not saying, look, to be very clear with you, I don't want this to be some bullcrap thing that says, well, this is what ambitious people do, right? They claim it and they go become it, because you're a loser if you're not ambitious. That's a lie.
That's bollocks.
That's total bollocks.
Total bollocks.
But having this conversation just it doesn't make me want to save you because you're great.
I don't need saving. I'm all right now.
You're killing. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Yeah.
But it makes me want so much for you.
Yes.
It makes me want to shoot you out of a cannon and say, there's the dream. Fire Sarah out of the cannon. So I mean, how can Sarah get there? How can Rob help? How can a listener help? Because I guarantee you, somebody's going to hear this and go, "Wow, I want to talk to her because I'm kind of there."
Well, if anyone ever wanted to talk to me about, what we've just discussed, please feel free. But I just don't know. Because I think, and I really do think this is true, because I've just spent so many years just being I am ordinary. We're all fucking ordinary, but. Being told, you're stupid, you're this, you're that, because, and just think, well, I'll just do what I do then. There's something will come along and I'll do it. And I don't know. I really would like to get an English degree. I would like to go and do English literature.
Right.
And I think, that's really what I'd like to do. But, that costs money.
Yeah, no, it does. It does.
And one day, who knows? Again, you never know, and you never say never.
No.
It might one day happen. But it's it's a real passion of mine. I love learning, but English is my thing, and books are most definitely my thing.
Well, I have a friend who's 53, and he is running a very large nonprofit in this country.
Oh yeah,
significant. And he got his college degree in his late 40s.
Nice.
And it's just because he said, it's time. I got to have it. I got to have it. The things I want to do, it requires it. I have no choice. This is my passion. I'm going to do it. And so I would tell you that it's really your passion, you won't mind it. And I know we can talk about like, it costs money. And the answer is yes.
It always will.
It always will. And I get it. But I think if it's really, truly a passion, Everything from you'll find a way to, it's amazing how sort of beautiful accidents happen when you announce it. My name's Sarah, and I want to do this.
Oh, well, I go to college.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to do this. It doesn't mean that somebody's going to mail you a check for $5,000,
Oh, God, no,
right?
no,
right?
no.
But the thing is what if somebody did?
Yes, thank you very much. It'd be lovely. No, well, I don't actually know what I'll do with that, but no, it's.
But you get it,
But
right?
I do get it. No, I get
It's
what you're
claiming
saying.
It's claiming it.
And it's something I always wanted to do, and I was always told that would happen. Would come over to America and you'll go to college. Okay, it didn't happen. That's one of those things. No hard feelings. But
she was just making a certain sign.
and you got.
You could probably rewind this and hear the W.
But there's like I said, one day you can make it happen if you really want it, and I don't even know. Again, I'd love to teach.
Yeah,
just something that I'm again very passionate about is education and teaching, and the right kind of teaching and the right kind of learning. Even if I teach about my drug addiction, even if that's what I do is go out there and teach. From a real point of view, not from doctors are brilliant, fantastic, very educated,
right.
That's bloody lovely. But there's been times when I go into a doctor's and say, right, I'm a recovering addict, so, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you don't look like one. Well, that's not the fucking point, is it? I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many times I have to say every time if I go into the hospital, they say, it says here you're allergic to oxycodone. No, I'm not allergic to it. I have an addiction to it.
Yeah.
So could you put that down? No, it doesn't go down. You have to say every time no. I've even contemplated actually getting a wrist thing to actually, a silver wrist thing that says I am an addict.
Yeah.
So that if I get taken to hospital, people are a bit careful.
If you had a heart attack, they don't put something in you that you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
this
is
lit
fantastic
for the rest of your life.
Well, you're not the rest of my life, for
the very short rest of your life.
Yeah, just because they don't listen.
Yeah.
But if I could teach that and make a difference, maybe who knows, then that could be pretty.
It would be nice if your story could stop one person from becoming Prince.
That'd be fucking awesome. That really, especially a kid, especially at Mount Si. Oh dear, did I say that out loud? There's a real drug problem.
Yeah, there is.
There's a real fucking drug problem, and let's maybe it helps one of them.
Yeah. So how would you want people to get in touch with you if they actually had a problem? Would you want them to send an email to me and then I forward it to you? Because obviously I wouldn't want you to give out your private information.
I think that'd be the best idea because I don't, they might get. I mean, if it's a few local people, might have guessed who I am and where I work.
Sure.
But no, probably best is the email.
Yeah.
But I am, and that's 24/7. Seriously, if that really is going to help somebody, get hold of me.
Yeah.
God, I'll even give you a telephone number.
Yeah.
And that's truly what me and a lot of other people I know do.
Yeah.
We're recovering, we're doing great, we're okay, and someone calls and you go.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say it right now if anybody's listening. So my email is rob@rockstarsuperhero.com, just like it sounds, which is the website, right? rob@rockstarsuperhero.com. And, if you're ever struggling with something, I'm very, very timely on emails, so I could make sure that I get that information to Sarah immediately. And just know that there are people out there that are willing to help you. I mean, look, I get it. This podcast is not live on the air. And I get it that even though Sarah said, I'll help anytime, it's also impossible for us to sit by a phone or a computer 24 hours a day. But we would make sure that we did everything because there's so many people that are lost and they're broken and they're physically ailed in a way that they will not. And now, so I'm going to say this. You who are currently sick on some form of drug or have some form of addiction, you will die. You won't live much longer. You will die. It will get worse and it will get worse and it'll get worse. There's no such thing as managing it. You have to ramp it up. You have to because your body requires it. You will die. So stop just take one step and send me an email, and I promise you, between myself and Sarah and friends we have in the medical community, to make sure you're protected and your identity is kept, safe. We can get you the help you need.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to say that.
And there's no shame.
There's none
whatsoever.
Sex addict. Hi.
Yeah. Hello. We're all here.
we've all got an
Everybody's got
issue.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have, and the people who say they haven't, they're bloody liars.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all got an issue.
Yeah, everybody's
Yeah.
got a thing, and Sarah has just, in a sense, outed her thing to the ether. So I know you're listening. So anyway, with that, any final words of wisdom you want to share?
No, none whatsoever. I don't got bloody any words of wisdom.
No, bugger off.
Yeah, no, none of those. But
Oh, you're lovely. I love you.
well, that's been quite the experience, I have to say.
That's good. That's good. Well, I like the fact that you completely took the chance to come here, this risk, and you put it all out there, and for basically a bowl of fettuccine.
Yeah, fettuccine. That's about it. Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't fettuccine. It was penne.
It was, wasn't it? Yes. Yes. I was expecting to use a
How about
spoon and all that. Yeah.
A bowl of Alfredo. How's that? Well, thank you so much, and I appreciate that you got better with the mic technique as well. By the end,
Did I get better with that? I didn't even realise I was shit at it.
So,
yeah.
So, thank you, and
Cheers, Rob.
you're a rock star.
Okay.
Thanks.